Hello guys, Susanna here. Well, I am back for part 2 of the cathedral window. So what I've done is I've tucked it all in and put that down, and I've sewn the edges down. And I was going to do this, put it underneath and do that, but it, I don't know, it just doesn't look any good. So I've got a piece for here. And I'm thinking of pinning it down. The reason why I don't want to sew it down as yet, because I want to sew this into the book, and I think it's easier to sew it into the book like this. I'm wondering if I should get some of my glue just to make sure it stays down. What do you think? I use my glue for everything, but it's in the house. So, okay, I'll just do this for now. At least it's going to stay down. So what I'm going to do, make sure it stays down here. It's gone a bit of a funny little shape because I ironed it last week. Okay. Actually, I might leave that out for now. Same with this. Put that down the bottom. Give it a bit of a stretch. So what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to get the glue. Going to annoy me. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back again. That wasn't very long, only nearly 2 minutes, and I've already paused it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over the top. And I've cut the edges, but I am going to find some sort of trim to put over the top to cover those edges, whether it be that. I was even looking at some of this, couching that on. I've got pink velvet. Ooh, that's pretty. So, but for now, I'm going to hold that down with some glue so it won't go anywhere, hopefully. I can probably still leave the pins on the outside and glue if I need to. Oh, good grief. There we go. Well, while I'm here, it's just going to hold it down. Put these pins back. That's why I use glue. Saves me having to have pins. Okay. And it's not a, a real permanent glue. Just enough to hold it down so I don't have pins. Yep, I'm going to rub that in because that is gross. The globby bits on the end. There we go. Hopefully that'll stay down enough for me to give it a sew. Now we just got to decide which way we want the flowers. I think I want the flowers that way, and so my thing doesn't move too much. I'll give that a glue in place. Okay, now I'll put it there. Still see the leaves, still see that underneath there, and I'm glad I've got some fabric in this corner. So I'm going to sew that down. I'm wondering if that is going to be enough to cover that. I'm not sure. do like that. It's probably not quite thick enough. What does it look like from up there? Pretty green. I've got this one, but that's pretty yellow. I think that's worse. Just need to have that over. Oh, now we're talking. I'm thinking this one. It's a bit bigger. Hopefully it may cover a little more. Maybe not. We'll see if we can go around the corner like that. But it is pretty big. So maybe the smaller one might be the go. These are pretty big, aren't they? Yep. Do have that. It's going to. You're probably all yelling at that. Yes, this one. Yeah, that one. I do like that colour, but it might be a little bit big and take away from the actual thing. I think so. So, I think either this is the go. I mean, if I did this, I would have to maybe couch it down, like roll it up a little bit and twirl it maybe, couch it down. I mean, the colour's nice, but I sort of want a little bit more of a straighty. Now, I bought my threads in. We'll see if we can bring out more of that greeny colour. Yep. If we do it with that, it'll blend that in. Okay. I think we are going to use that. So, I've got all these other threads. I'll put that back in there. I may even use that for a bit of ribbon lace work on the actual paint. These are pretty too. So that's going to go back in my ribbon box. I'm trying to be good and put things away straight away. Okay. That's how my room got messy last time. So, okay, now we'll get a thread. And then I'm going to come back in with some more thread. This isn't a bad colour. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good colour. I wonder if I've got any more of that. Maybe in the other box. Hoping that might be enough, because I reckon that would be really nice to go inside like there. So I'm going to start off and this will actually hold it down as well. There's definitely a right and wrong way with these. Okay, I'm sorry, gotten a bit quiet. push it over. Doesn't matter if you see that stitching line, I just don't want to be able to see that. I'd rather have it go down more. Then I want to cover that line. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Now, thimble. I might be able to zoom it in a tad. There we go. Okay. And we're going to go, I might just cut that off so it doesn't drive me nuts. Okay. Better too much than enough, and then I'll fix it up later. And could probably do with a pin just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. There we go. Now, I will start here. And then I'll go across, grab that. Might be a tad tricky. And here. Sort of don't really want to see the colour too much of it. Hopefully, yeah, in camera and covering. That's why I thought I'll do a little bit at a time. That way, if it does move, I can at least push it underneath. And we get into a bit of a rhythm. Okay. Push it down. Go down. There we go. Getting there. Okay. So how are we all going? I watched Corinne's cathedral ceilings and I quite like the way she's done hers. Yeah, really nice. She's done it old school way, like I mentioned in the first video. There is an old school way of doing it and a new way of doing it, and because the book is, you know, 1980s, that's the old school way. And because she's doing more than one, and I've still got, where are we? I've still got all these, and she uses all the squares. I'm like, oh, I might do the one that she does for the remainder of the squares, but because I've already started cutting it and I've got a few squares that way, it might be better if I do it that way. Ah, well, either way it'll work. That's what I mean. There's many different ways to do cathedral windows. There. So what I might do, because you've seen me do this, I'll stitch it down on, well, you know, get to there. I'll just pause it and I'll be back. Okay guys, well I have managed to get that through. It was a bit like quite tough because it had a few layers, and because this is like sticky stuff. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to get a contrasting colour, and I thought this matched quite well and it brings out some of these flowers. So what I'm going to do is a bit of stitching around here. Zoom it in a tad. Might even go that way. Now, so we could probably start, I might start on the inside, and actually I'll start on the outside. Go in here, and we're just going to do, just going to do a running stitch just on the outside, right on the edge, and use that edge as a bit of a guideline. Sort of a running stitch is like a quilting stitch, because this is sort of like a quilt. It's like that we're quilting it onto, you know, they're doing the layers, and it'll give it that quilted effect. And the colour is brilliant. It just brings out all that pinky. Each piece has got that pink in it. There, even though there, and that's quite pink. But I think it is going to work nice. And then I might come back, because I've got usually 4 weeks to do. We really want to embellish it. I might even do a flower or something in each corner that I think would be really nice. And I want to go around the outside of these flowers just to bring them out a little bit. So this is still part of the cathedral ceiling. See, it's got a few layers, so something that should be fairly simple. When I get to the ends here, it gets a little tougher. Yeah. Okay, now come up through here. Here we go. And come around. Go underneath that part. It was quite tricky trying to get that rickrack on straight, because I really needed to cover some of those bits. That's because I'm only doing a cathedral window rather than cathedral windows. But that's what I chose to do, because I'm using this journal as a sampler of the techniques, and that's all I really need. I'll use it as a, you know, it's motivated me to maybe do a little more. When that is, I don't know. As you know, I've got plenty of other projects to do. Okay, might be lucky. In the middle it's a little easier, but in certain places it's a bit tougher. I know why, because that's where those joins are, and if I'm going through those joins, it gets a bit, I'm thinking, why is it so easy in some places and hard in others? That's why. I really love that you see that spot of colour. I think in the one that Corinne did, they did the opposite. They did the colour on the outside, and then the plain colour on the inside, which you can do either or. They still have that same effect. Obviously must be that tough. I'll do one at a time when I go through those. Come out through here. Colours are so pretty. So I haven't asked you how you're all going. I hope that you are enjoying this this month's prompt. We've only got one more left, and that is stump work. So it's going to be interesting. I've got a few ideas. There is, like once again, I'll do it, the traditional Susie way. I've got a piece that I want to do, that really cute fabric that I've got with all these owls and everything on there. I've utilised it quite a bit. And I've kept aside a piece for myself, and I've got the ladybug on there. And I was thinking I'd like to stitch the ladybug down and do some stitching, and I might even do some beads and all that kind of stuff. Like, stump work is making your work 3D, and I saw a nifty technique on how to do dandelions on YouTube, so not YouTube, Pinterest. Well, I'm going to lift that up, go underneath, because it needs to be held down. So now I can push it back down again. What was I saying? Yeah, so I saw something on Pinterest and I'm like, oh, I like that. So I'm going to do the ladybug, and it's quite a big ladybug. On the picture, some of you may have some of the fabric that have got the piece of ladybug on there, so if you do, keep it if you're doing this. And I want to do, because when you do stump work, you use wire to make things a little bit 3D, so I'd like to put the ladybug down and then use the wire to make the 3D wings of the ladybug, and then I want to do some 3D like dandelion flower, which was a really nifty technique that I saw on Pinterest. And I'd like to use some beads to maybe create like some berries, just sort of, different aspects. And I've got a book that gives me good guidelines, but that's what I want to do. So it's already having a picture there, and that's what you do when you do these things. It's already got a bit of a guideline, a picture, but I thought I would like to have the ladybug there, and then underneath, because the wings are going to be 3D, so maybe you might want to think of doing a butterfly or something with wings. It's the same technique as what I'll be doing. So, oh gee, that makes it look good with that pop of colour, and it holds it down, which is what I want. Okay, now this is going to be a little bit different, so I might come across and go here. I might slide across first underneath. Hopefully you can't see it. Nope. And then come into the middle, and rather than going up through there, I'm just going to go into the center. Oh, I like that. What do you think? Looks pretty good. So same technique. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, they're not even little stitches, but because they are on the edge, they're straight. That's the main thing. Doesn't matter if they're a little bit different in size, as long as it's straight, then they look even. Okay. And this sort of has a few purposes. It's holding it down to the actual, it looks really nice, piece, but it also brings out, you know, see, that's bringing that out and that's holding it down, and you can fiddle with that, and at least you know that's secure. Okay. Yep. Yes, so because this is these have been sort of like tutorial sample pieces, I didn't want to do anything too big because it's too hard. Like if I had to teach you how to do a whole quilt on doing this, it'd be a fairly long video, and the videos that I've got linked in the part 1 is where I've linked that video. I'll see if I can find it and link it again, but if not, go into the part 1 video and it shows you how to do the technique and finishes it off where you join all the pieces together. I'll go back down. Whereas I've been a bit of a cheater and done just the one, but that's because I really wanted to get it on this background. It's not exactly how I wanted it, but it's worked out in the end. Still get to see some of that. Oh, ow! Pretty stuff. I should have the pin out before I, do that. But yeah, I really like how it's got a little bit of an edge, and oh, that hurt. Constantly pricking ourselves, aren't we? But that doesn't help when you do stupid things. So I just don't want to get blood on my work. No blood on work. It's looking good. And because this thumb constantly, it'll get on there. I have to be really careful. I think I might have a band-aid here somewhere. Yep. Just so I don't get, not a lot, but I just don't want to get it on my work. That's the main reason. There you go, maintenance. There we go. Just so I can finish my piece. I got this idea from someone said, yep, we should always have band-aids nick close on our table. Just so, for this reason probably. And that'll act a bit like a thimble as well. Okay. Oop. Of course it's going to get a knot in it. We're nearly done. I don't think I'm going to have enough to finish that. So, yeah, none too exciting video watching for you guys, but at least you sort of know how to put it on and what stitching we're going to do. So in the next video, I've got some ribbon. Just trying to think, was it that colour? Oh, some nice buttons here. Well, I'm umming whether I do some buttons or it must have fallen on the floor again, pushed over, maybe getting really tiny motifs and putting them in there. I do have some tiny ones, but I definitely want to do something in here. Thinking maybe Lazy Daisy should work all right because I don't think there's anything going to be in the way. But this is not a bad colour. Maybe I can do some silk ribbon embroidery in there. So I really love the way it's sort of had that effect. Maybe that, yeah, that's probably a better match. These are the ones I got from Lincraft. Might keep that. Yeah, And we could probably use this as a center and do some, yeah, I think I'm going to use that colour. Okay, we've decided. And then what have we got? We've got small green. Yeah, I'll use that as leaves, or even use some green. What else have we got? Some green wool. They make nice leaves too. Okay, keep going. So that'll be next week's video on how we finish up and maybe do a bit of bits and pieces. So what homework I want to do, if you've done something similar, I was thinking of just doing a running stitch, like a backing stitch around the outside of these, sort of to bring them out, and then I'm going to do some French knots in there, and maybe just a straight stitch to highlight the leaves a little bit, or maybe just leave it because it looks rather nice and work on doing the flower embroideries. I'm wondering if I could work on that, but I reckon it would be pretty tough to get through because it's got that cross. Maybe I can just do some French knots in those. I don't know. We'll put a button, maybe find myself a button in the middle just to hold it down. Oh, that's actually a really good colour. It's a mother of pearl button. Whether I do it that way or that way. What do you think? I quite like it that way, and even though it is, you know, in with the flowers, see if I can find something a little bit smaller. Oh, we're already up to 32 minutes. Okay. Something a bit smaller. That's a bit, oh, look at that colour. Look how it's picking up there. Needs a bit of a wipe. That colour's really pretty, but I'm still, what do you think? You can really pick up that, see it picks out the blues, and it's a bit smaller, so maybe go that one. Yeah. Go smaller again, tiny little one. They need to wipe these things. Oh, a bit dirty. Yeah, mother of pearl will definitely do it. It's got a bit of blue in it. Yeah. That's not bad. Still thinking that one, but I think that's probably a better size. No, that one or that one. Okay, well, we'll just plonk those back in there, and I'll finish this off camera, and then I'll come back next week and we can do some of these, and I'll get my Jennifer Coulston book out and see what kind of pretty flowers we can make with these. Maybe some of the ones she's done recently on the video, doing the ribbon lazy daisy stitch. I think that would be it. Okay guys, well, I'll zoom back out. Oh, it's looking really pretty. See how it's really brought it out by, you know, really doing the stitching stuff around it, I think, and then putting the ribbon embroidery. And I think I might leave that. I just think it's pretty. So I'll do the ribbon embroidery next week, and then the last week is probably going to be the real quick video of putting it into the book. So, because there's usually 4 videos, 4 weeks in the month. Okay guys, I will catch you later. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I really enjoyed putting this in, and the colours are just, it's so pretty. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.